But I was shocked when people were skeptical and saying didn't believe anybody would do anything.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to come forward, address the council?
I have to do it just because I can. Sorry. Sandy Carter, 2708 North, 450 West. We're going to have to do something to fix the glare on the flag. It's pretty bad. So I just wanted to let you know, Mike and I will try to find a solution for that.
Okay.
So that when you look at it, you're not seeing reflection of all these lights in here. Other than that, yeah.
Hey, it looks great. Okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else? If not, we'll now close our open session and move on to our item number 6, our consent items, and ask for a motion for our consent items this evening. We have a motion. We have a second by. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now move on to we don't have any board, commission, or committee appointments this evening, and or presentations, and no public hearings this evening. So we'll move to our item number 10, action on item ready for vote. And 10A, consider for adoption resolution 2019-023, adopting Pleasant Grove City tentative budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2019 and ending June 30th, 2020, which includes Pleasant Grove Redevelopment Agency tentative budget and the comprehensive fee schedule, providing for an effective date. Director Roy.
Good evening. I talk pretty loud too, so I don't think I'll need the mic either. So got it out on Dropbox a little bit later than I planned. So I'm just going to go over 2 documents, so hopefully you can get in there. It's just called FY 2020 tentative budget. So there's just 2 documents. I'm not going to go over this one, but I did just a consolidated budget of everything that's in there. It's just high level. Shows where we're estimating to be with fund balance in all of our funds that we adopt a budget for, and then just where we think we'll be at the end of 2020. So this is just an estimate, but it kind of gives you a big picture of our entire budget. So we're not going to go over detail, but that. And then there's a detailed budget for every one of these items as you follow through the document. So then the other thing that we've talked a lot about the last couple months is the 1-pager. So it should be page number 2 in that document. On the one side, we have our revenue sources of new revenue, which is 707,008, and sales tax are still coming in good, and then the property tax with the growth that we've had out in the Grove area. And so that's the biggest change on the left-hand side for our new money. And then you'll see on the right-hand side the uses, 2% increase for the employees and a 6.5% insurance increase. And that's where the 447,366. That's the number we've been pretty much looking at the last month or two. We had a couple of things, software upgrades that are a requirement, one for our financial system and then some legal software. So using some of the new money for that. And then just the different items that we've been talking about. I'll just go through those quickly. Recreation wage adjustments. And Tyler will be looking at what that means for his organization, just some areas we try to do different divisions every year. Contract planner. This would just be someone contract to help Daniel with the busy time. And then as things slow down, then so that would just be a contract employee, not a. The other thing that we're looking at, we're waiting for bids for a custodial contract. We don't know if that will be something that that we would contract with an outside agency or if we're going to do that in-house. And so we put a placeholder in there for $30,000. Fire had asked for a part-time fire administrative assistant. And so that's been on here. One of the other things that we talked about was doing an additional 1% for the employees, and that's $107,000 to do that additional 1%. The county does our elections, and so they are asking for more than we had budgeted. So we do need to budget for that. And then last meeting, we talked about some project management software that we would be using to manage projects, and that's $3,500. And then we've been talking about different options with the median maintenance out as you come into Pleasant Grove. And so we've earmarked a little money as we move forward with what we're going to do out in that area. And then right below, so we've talked about our one-time money, which is excess that we had from fiscal year 2018. And just the allocation, we haven't changed it much. And so I won't go over that in detail, but just the items that we've planned on using. The only thing that we haven't heard about yet is the grant from MAG, which would be used to help with the street sweeper and the dump truck purchase, but we're gonna still leave those in here until we hear yay or nay on that grant. We haven't gotten the information there. So that would be one of the only things that would change. Anything I missed, Scott?
No, is there any changes or anything the council would like to make as far as the recommendation from the staff?
Go ahead, Sid. Nope. Sid first.
I'd like to see if there's some adjustment somewhere or a way that we can work in a parks person, because Dion's drowning and he's overwhelmed, and I know he would not say this, and so I'm speaking not on his behalf because he didn't ask me to, but from what I've seen as a resident and council person, we've added almost 7 miles of bike and trail system with the care tax. He's overwhelmed with his crew, and it's a level of service issue for me at this point to not be able to take care of a lot of these things without him getting overwhelmed, him and his staff. And so I'd like to find some funding somewhere, whether we wait a year on some of these other positions or somehow work it into the budget, because I think he needs that help at this time. And like I said, he would never come forward and say that. But I've seen over the past few years how much additional acreage we've added to their maintenance, and and it's a lot. And we haven't increased their staff, and so I think they need some help in that area.
Yeah, I looked, $75,000 to fund a full-time parks person. So that's just a number that we'd be looking forward to have to make, cut somewhere else. How much? It's $75,000. It's like, yeah, I just looked before I even.
Well, as Denise and I have looked at that as a possibility, my recommendation would be is we wouldn't fund the part-time fire position, and then the additional 1% for employees would cut in half at 0.5%. That would free up enough money for us to afford that position. Well, so the permanent part-time then would probably replace our part-time fire administrative assistant, if that's the direction the council wants to go. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. Just keeping in mind that every department needs people, not just parks. And, yeah, I mean.
And I think we've been doing that over the past few years. We've been trying to allocate, but this is one area where we haven't helped them in the past few years.
I mean, you're right. It's just the priority of what the city council, where they want the money to go and for the personnel to go. And so, I mean, every year we make that evaluation and we get the request from the department heads, and then we bring it to you. So far, this is where we landed. If the council wants to switch that and have that be a part-time parks person, then we can allocate the money in that direction.
I got another subject. Okay, so I'm looking, and just for the public, this is all public information. It's on the website. You can get it. So the total expenditures on our Class C road fund is 2.2 million. Am I reading this right, Denise?
Let me get there.
Page.
So you're gonna look at the last what we're talking about as far as the budget. That's page 9. So we can-
Perfect. Yeah, so it's actually 2 point,
You can look at, if you look at the estimated actual expenditure column,
yeah, the 2.2.
that's what we're estimating to spend this year, the current year that we're finishing up. And then the tentative budget is that furthest right column.
Okay, all right.
That's,
So we're going to spend 2.2 on, specifically on roads. That's also money that we've transferred from the general fund to heft that up. Tina or Scott, how much is currently in our escrow account for our road fee?
I would say it's been about 100,000 a month.
Okay.
I'm guessing we have 800 or 900,000 in there.
Okay. So every month that goes on, it costs us an additional 100,000. So we could, right? Doesn't cost us. We just can't fix the roads. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
in a special revenue fund, it's in its own fund.
Okay.
We have the Class C money.
Right.
And then there's another fund called transportation.
Yeah, I probably incorrectly called it an escrow fund, but
No, it's just, there's two
Yeah.
funds, so you only see Class Cs here.
Right.
And just a few pages back, there's the transportation utility fund. report.
okay. S-
Page 19.
So we could literally add an additional 1.2 million to our expenditures on roads if we could settle that lawsuit.
Yes. Well, not only that, we would have the 1.2 from next year
Correct.
for our fiscal year 2020,
Correct.
and in essence, the 1 million that we're going to get up to this year. So we would have another $2 million at our disposal.
Yeah, which to Sid's point is more than the history that anyone has ever spent on roads in Pleasant Grove. So, you know, the plan is there, the money is there. We have to be able to utilize those funds. It's super sad that we have where we're currently sitting.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's nice to know. Any other thing, anybody else has any comments for Denise?
The only other thing I didn't mention is towards the end, it starts at page 30. The fee schedule is down there, and it just has 2 columns, what the fee is now, and then what the proposed is. And so you'll be able to see those changes. And then, so it's a pretty long document, but it starts on page 30, so that you can look at the fees that I haven't added any that we haven't talked about.
Well, and I want to clarify, one of the fees we talked about a couple weeks ago was a change with some of the library with what they're charging with the DVDs. And we since have put a number on it, and it was a little bigger than maybe what we wanted to do. So Sherry and I have talked through that, and we're recommending just to keep that fee what it is right now, not to change that, so. Just so you know.
No, not that we haven't talked about. Yeah.
Lynn, any other discussion? Diana, you're awful quiet this evening.
Well, I'd like to, I'm just thrilled to be here, by the way. By the way, I ran through a lot of road projects to get here. And I'm very grateful. Do we want to talk at all about, are we talking about what has been presented? All right.
She brought it up, but no one else.
Does anybody else want to talk about it besides Sid and I? Well, I think I think for me, the conversation is, I know that we have every department that is lacking. Everybody would like someone. I do question, the only thing I question about it is that the parks that we are creating, once the construction has been completed, the maintenance is actually going to go down a little bit, I think. I think we're making them a lot more maintenance-free. I think also if the medians are out, which I think they won't all be out.
Most of them will still be.
Okay.
Well, there's the one median going out, but we
Right
are
now.
budgeting $20,000 to help supplement the median maintenance with that. That's currently in the budget.
So I think I don't want to cut the 1% increase. Oh.
No, you're talking two different things. No. You sure? Yeah. Talking 1%.
Yeah. Right.
Leave that alone.
Deion's at Discovery Park.
Yeah, I
He's
don't know
got-
if you know this, but.
I think we probably ought to have a work session on this, with, so Dion can kind of explain what he would utilize that person's position for. And then we'll have Chief Thomas kind of explain what his, because you kind of discussed it, right?
They do.
Well, no, because, so Dion is not requesting the position. This is Sid that has said, hey, this is something that I want us to consider.
Come from Dion.
So Dion requested a full-time position in Parks and Cemetery. We also had a full-time police officer and a dispatch. So, I mean, we had 4 full-time position requests and 1 part-time position in the budget. The only one that we could fit and still do the 3% was to do the part-time. We didn't contemplate the part-time for Parks. So Dion, I think Dion's aware that this discussion's happening, but,
He's not specifically requesting.
well, he requested a full-timer, so yes, he is, but,
But as a staff, you all said that it's more important that Chief Thomas.
well, as a staff, we said it's easier to fund the part-time position than the full-time. So it wasn't that was the only request for a part-time.
But it wasn't on the table at the time to go permanent part-time and the full-time.
That's right. So it wasn't, we weren't having that discussion. So, I mean, we can have Dion here and he can explain why he needs it, and Dave can explain why he needs his position. They're both going to tell you they need it. So unless there's something you really want to hear from them, I think we just need to make a decision on what we want to do.
This is kind of a mayor, city administrator, right?
Well,
No, it's budget. You guys do a budget.
That's your recommendation.
But is the reason behind that because that's the easiest, or that's the greatest need?
well, so I think this is the 3rd year that Dave's asked for this position. And so, and part of it is because it was the part-time request made it easier for us to put it in there. But this isn't the first time he's asked for this position.
But same with Dion. I mean, he's asked multiple times and we've increased. I mean, we've got the care tax pads, we've got these projects. I mean, I'm just gonna see. I'm not saying that it's not important, like.
Yeah.
spoke to
All positions are important, yeah.
But I'm just saying, if we want our level of service to, I mean, Dion's probably 2 or 3 people behind at this point with how much acreage we have in our city, how many parks we have, the projects we have coming up. I mean, they're probably 2 or 3 people down.
Yeah, we're 3 people, we're probably 5 people down in the police department.
I know, but
We're,
I know, but we can't.
I-
Go from department to department. I'm just saying Dion's needs right now in parks with where we're expecting the medians and the care tax and the bike and trail system and everything else we have. So we could say all day that every department that's down, we've been trying each year to fund those. That's why we're getting a dispatch, that's why or an officer, that's why we're getting these different positions. So I understand that, but I'm just kind of, I guess, fighting for parks because, you know, I'm starting to get complaints. We're seeing the level of service go down. It's not because they're not doing a good job, it's because.
they're overwhelmed. Oh, and that is a super fair point, and I agree with you 100%. And that's why this is really a policy decision on where council feels the funds need to go and what the priority is in this given time and year. We would love to be able to fund everything, and we just can't. And so, and this is the beauty of being on the city council. These are the hard decisions that ultimately you have to make is where that's going to happen.
My feeling is, Scott, is it would, like you said, I couldn't agree with everything you said. I totally agree, like, we do need more attention to parks. But I think it would be a mistake for this body to overstep its bounds and tell our city directors what they should do.
Okay, let me just, you're not overstepping your bounds. This is your,
I know.
okay.
But if this is your recommendation.
Yeah.
Administratively, if this is we're a governing body that advises and definitely makes decisions. This is the decision that you guys have made. I think it would be a mistake to go against that on this case, because we have so many other needed positions and
I'm
Those are
going off what the, like, complaints I'm bathrooms in the parks, in fact, we had a scout that was just talking about, that one bathroom was, or talking about, just areas of the park, so I'm going off of not overstepping our bounds, we're the legislative body, decision on the budget. So they can make a recommendation, we have to go off what our community's saying, what
Well, and let me clarify that a little bit. If Dion would have requested a permanent part-time position, then as staff, we would have said, we have budget for both these positions, and council, it's where you want the money to go. And so we made the recommendation based on this is the one that fits the easiest. I want to be a little careful because in essence, if Dion would have asked for a permanent part-time, then that would have been considered to be in this spot, and really we would have turned to you to say, what are you hearing? Where are, where do you want the level of service to be increased? Because that's what we're talking about.
19604. Sorry.
Says, says the analytic.
Well, without taking it from somewhere else on this list, yeah.
And I think that's about, did I say 28 hours at, yeah, it's something like that. So that's what you kind of, but it's like, theirs would be a permanent part-time too. So it'd be pretty equivalent probably. Yeah.
But can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Thank you. By the way, is Kyler really short over there? I was like, who is that? It's like, anyway. I just want to point this out. I really feel like the parks are in critical mass chaos until the end of June. I don't want to make a decision on a long-term commitment to downtown Discovery, Valley Vista, that are going to be done this summer. And so, yes, that they are stressed to the max, and yes, we're getting calls. But we also have, at Fire, we have a new facility where people are coming in and there's not a receptionist to meet them. And so that's also a level of service.
Well, you have to understand, there's not going to be somebody sitting up front. That's my understanding, right, Dave?
Well, but they'll be able to see.
They'll be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have a camera.
Yeah, but they'll be the, I just don't want to give this impression, all of a sudden you're going to see somebody with a desk up front.
But if somebody walks
Yeah.
in, they'll immediately be.
This will be the person that will handle that.
Yeah. That's where that person is.
So do you see, I just don't want to make a decision when
Okay.
Dion is going to be in a different situation in July or August. Yes, but everybody's down.
But,
I don't know the number seasonally. The tricky part for them seasonally is they can't get people till June. Generally, it's high school age kids. And then right now, because of the job market, it's really tough to get some part-time people. I mean, we'll have positions open, and it's like our front desk at the rec. There's so many other jobs part-time right now that are paying more than us. So I don't know how far we are towards staffing our permanent or our temporary employees for parks, and I don't know what the reception is, but.
I was just under the impression they hired some more people I last talked to people on that some of those individuals took care of the mowing of the lawns.
Oh, yeah.
They went out and helped with the mediums out there, and so, yes, we are in dire need of parks and all our facilities. Make sure they're properly taken. Those are priorities as a council and the budget. So every department, right? We go through this every year. Every department has their needs. And so, the mayor's probably going to echo this decision making.
I do. We've had a budget presented to us, and I would ask if we now move on with that, and I think this is to be done in future budget meetings to resolve some of the issues we brought up here this evening. So we have resolution number 2019-023. Do I have a motion? Yes.
Does this have to be decided tonight?
No. So, well, to that point,
Yeah, we'll have a public hearing,
yeah, so,
first meeting in June, and then we'll adopt the last meeting in
Yeah.
June. We need to have it adopted by the last meeting in June.
That was for discussion, just like we've had.
we're required by state law to adopt a tentative budget our first meeting in May. That's what we're doing tonight. We can make changes all the way up to June 25th, and then we can amend the budget a week after that if we want to.
So this is tentative.
We,
Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Okay,
To adopt resolution 2019-23, adopting Pleasantville City budget, city tentative budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019, 30th, 2020, Pleasant Grove redevelopment agency tentative budget and the comprehensive fee schedule, providing for an effective date.
we have a motion by Councilman Williams, a second by Councilman Jensen. Oh, Lynn, okay, we'll move that, we'll scratch that. And this will be a roll call vote. Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen.
Yes.
Councilman Lamone. Councilman Walker.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our 10B. Consider for approval the request for Class C on-premise full-service restaurant liquor license and local consent for the Holy Grail located at 322 East State Street.
Mayor and Council, an existing restaurant here in Pleasant Grove, the Holy Grail, is now asking for a alcoholic beverage, full-service restaurant liquor license. They have completed all of the requirements. They paid their fees. They've done a background check. They've provided proof of the certificate of liability insurance and a corporate surety bond. So in all aspects, they have complied with our rules and regulations for granting the business license or the alcohol license, and it's up to the council as to whether or not you would be in favor of granting a alcohol full-service restaurant liquor license to the Holy Grail.
And they brought some really good brisket with
But we have good recall and we know that it's good.
So it's,
Really big question, what's the difference between full service and not full service?
So the full-service restaurant is they have to offer food more than just snacks. Like it has to be a restaurant type.
any other questions for Tina?
This would be on tap or bottled or?
I will let them answer what they plan on serving.
So from my understanding, there's three different types. There's beer and wine, and then everything, the beer, wine, or liquor. So this is just for that one right there. So we have the option to serve what the customer is asking for.
So it's not just beer, it's pretty
Yeah,
much everything.
Spirits.
the food requirement, I think, is the same for all of them. You have to, there's a percentage that
Okay.
you can't serve.
70%. Each restaurant must maintain at least 70% of its total restaurant business from the sale of food.
And we're not trying to be a bar or anything. So this would be a license,
they
like
can sell
like
liquor.
R&R.
Yeah, they can sell liquor,
Okay.
wine, or beer,
Okay, so it's the same as R&R.
as same as ours.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to know how your experience was with the state. I mean, is it just paperwork or? do you have to
Yeah,
go
the
through-
state's actually pretty easy. They have some classes that the owner has to take, that the managers have to take, and that servers have to take. It's pretty much go take the classes from them.
Okay, thanks, Robert, for enlightening us on that. So without any other questions, council? I would request a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion for approval of request for Class C on-premise full-service restaurant liquor license and local consent for the Holy Grail located at 322 East State Street, Pleasant Grove, Utah.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilman Anderson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll now move to 10C. Consider for adoption Resolution 2019-024 indicating an intent Pleasant Grove City to annex 13.27 acres of real property located approximately 4801 West, 6800 North, American Fork, Utah, authorizing public hearing thereon, providing notice of said hearing, and providing for an effective date.
So
And
Mayor
it-
Mayor and
Yes, go
Council,
ahead.
In December, we received a petition or an application requesting annexation of this parcel of property, which I thought was going to be on the screen, but it's not, so I'll just describe it. It's on the western border of our city, adjacent to American Fork. It is just east of the Stewart RV sales, if you know where that is, and just south of the Mayfield mixed-use development. There is a developer who has plans for that piece of property. The current owner of record is Kenneth Brailsford. He has signed an affidavit authorizing Stephen Richards and Better Investment Club to file this request. And basically, they're just requesting to come 13.27 acres be annexed into Pleasant Grove City and be designated as the interchange subdistrict. This is just the first step of the annexation process. This is just a resolution declaring the council's intent to annex this property. There's a time for public comment, any objections to come in. Affected entities have to be notified. Then we'll hold a public hearing on this on July 16th. And at that point, you will also be asked to consider an ordinance finalizing the annexation and actually annexing them into Pleasant Grove City. There's a couple little quirks about this request. One is that there's a very small UDOT parcel that belongs to UDOT. They were not joined on the petition, the application request, and so we've notified UDOT, and we're in the process of making sure they don't have any objections to their parcel being included in Pleasant Grove City. And there's also another parcel that's owned by a different property owner that is it would be leaving basically a little island. And so we're in the process of discussing and notifying that property owner that we are intending on including them in this 13.2 acres.
So the UDOT portion would be that southwest corner?
Yeah, Marty, the UDOT parcel.
So UDOT parcel
Southwest?
at the map there, essentially along I-15 from Pleasant Grove Boulevard, essentially up that boundary on the BMW side.
Yeah.
That's where the little strip of land is. It's currently in the county, but we've asked them to include that within the overall boundary, so that there will be no more.
So it fits with the state statutory requirements for annexation. It fits in our annexation declaration policy plan, and it achieves the goals of the county in that they are trying to reduce wherever possible small areas of unincorporated land so that they're not responsible to service it. It's better served by municipalities.
Any questions? Okay, if not, I'd like a motion on resolution 2019-024.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2019-024, indicating the intent of Pleasant Grove City to annex 13.27 acres of real property located at approximately 4801 West, 6800 North, American Fork, Utah, authorizing a public hearing thereon and providing notice of said hearing and providing for effective date.
Could you just include the date as July 16th?
July 16th, with an effective date of July.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Anderson and a second from Councilmember Jensen. This will be a roll call vote. We'll start out with Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Councilmember Walker.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone. Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Now, for our lively discussion this evening,
Our live.
if we haven't already had one, we'll go to, if, Marty, you going to be able to get anything up on the, or we?
Oh, and I haven't been able to pull up any of the graphics.
Such high hopes.
We really had high hopes, wasn't it? And you know, before this meeting, it worked perfectly. It was all working.
So what happened while I was gone?
Well, you left, that's the problem. Before, I have to just tell you, they are, Cache Valley, who is trying to work some bugs out of our system, apparently worked out more than bugs this time. So anyway, and they were here just previous, oh, we've got something up there.
Has it affected any other function in the building, or is it just this room?
Well, it's just the audio visual in this room.
Audio-visual they were working on. That's all they have.
So next meeting, we're going to ask for them to be here at the meeting, so if, it's streaming, yep.
So we'll now move to our discussion of removal of trees on Center Street and 100 East. And as soon as Marty gets it up, we will turn over to our Public Works Director. And have all of you had an opportunity to read the email that Marty sent to all of us?
I read the email, but I was not able to pull up the graphics, so I'm hoping.
So he's got the graphics.
Yeah, it was a quick one. Mayor, what has driven this mayor and council is we were working with the county on the big, nice little whoop-de-doo we have right there next to City Hall by the Beck home. As you come down the road there southbound, you have the tree. There's two major trees there. You can see them here. It's this tree here and this tree here. And they have been there for a lot of years. And when they constructed the curb gutter and sidewalk along there, they've provided some widths for them, but they've also raised that curb up significantly because they're so high. And so what happened is the contractor got to this area, they were trying to meet some minimum grades on the road, and as they did that, they didn't really pay attention to our previous grade there. Really came out straight, and then it really just dropped off to that curve, and it was actually too steep to really work for a shoulder of a road. And so what we did a couple weeks ago in our walkthrough is we're trying to determine how to fix that problem. The county is committed to fixing the issue. The discussion came in, do we try to get, is there a possibility of getting rid of the second tree? So they said, hey, we'd be willing to get rid of it if it's possible. Is that a chance? And so we've always heard this rumor, hey, these trees are no-touch trees, don't even look at them wrong, and so we kind of just stayed away from them. Well, so we called and talked with the Urban and Community Forestry Group at the state, who keeps the list of heritage trees in the state, because we figured at least the one on the corner would be there. And what they told us was there are no trees in Pleasant Grove that are on the heritage tree list. So there isn't, not that there aren't old trees, it's just that they aren't put on that list for some historical reason. So we thought, well, let's also talk with our State Historic Preservation Office, the SHPO, and see if they had anything to say about it, just so that we're not just going off of the urban forestry. And they were pretty straightforward, saying, you know what, every tree is kind of looked at in its project as you're doing a project. If you're doing it on an older historic site, then you can have historic trees. But in the end, it just matters on whether or not they're included in that. So there's nothing that would identify these trees as being specifically on any list. Now, are they valuable? Have they been in our community forever and ever? Are they very large? Yes. So essentially that information was given to the county commissioners.
Oh, they're
essentially said, well, we are willing to do the work. We're willing to remove the trees. We're willing to move the curb gutter and sidewalk back, accommodate what they see and what we see as a safety concern that has been there for a lot of years, and remove that and pay for that if Pleasant Grove City Council approves that. So they've kind of kicked it back into our court, and then we got it on the agenda so we could discuss this issue. So there's a lot of things. I put 5 items kind of in my little memo of issues that it's currently creating with regards to, we've got, if you're coming eastbound here coming here and try to make this turn, that's a very difficult turn without coming clear out into the turn lane of northbound, even in a regular vehicle. It's just a really tight corner, all due to that tree. The elevation is a little bit higher. If you look at the tree, the tree has scars all the way up the trunk. There's one branch of that really sticks out that's really within a clear distance of a highway. It shouldn't be there. So there's just a lot of issues with the tree remaining. There's elevation issues. And so our recommendation to you would be that due to the safety concerns, the location of the tree, not that it's not a wonderful tree, would love to keep it, but it's just not in the right place. to be able to stay there and keep that intersection functioning safely. And we would recommend that it be removed for those reasons. So that's our recommendation, and now, based on what you guys determine to do, we'll relay that back to the county, and then they'll make their determination based on that, on what they do. And then this work would probably happen shortly after Strawberry Days. There are some concerns with them starting too close to Strawberry Days, and then they don't get it done, and we've got a big mess here, so it's something that would probably happen just after Strawberry Days, is what we're being told by the contractor, so.
So this won't cost us anything to have them remove it?
That is what we're being told. The county would do that as part of the.
Part of their project.
Do we know how old this tree is?
I don't know.
50? 100 years?
We've got other trees in town.
Yeah.
Several.
Yeah.
I don't care if the tree to the south, but not the one on the corner. I mean, there's trees on a lot of corners, and I don't think they need to be removed. I mean, it's an
Nope.
amazing opportunity, and
No, I'll disagree with you, Sid, on that. This is a safety issue on that corner. And we don't have any that are on corners like that.
not that-
If there was
not
an
that
accident,
size.
yeah, it would.
Well, if you're at the intersection and a truck is coming around the corner, well, no, they can see you, they can't make the corner.
Yeah.
The other thing I mentioned was our lane configuration here, because of the trees, we have 37 feet of pavement from lip to lip here, whereas down our normal cross-section is about 48 feet on First East. And so everything, all of our lanes are 11 foot. So typically you'd be a 16, 12, an 11, and then a 5-foot shoulder. But due to this, we have to get all of that compressed into 3 11-foot lanes with no shoulders. So you have a biker, you have other things of that nature trying to share the same lanes as your traffic. And again, it's just a matter of there's not physically enough room there to do that. The expense of, it would be very expensive to try to shift that road away from that. Because now we're talking about affecting this home and its frontage, as well as all of this property, be able to get that to line up and come back. So you'd be losing this building here as well. So those are some of the things that I looked at.
Lynn had,
Sorry.
Lynn had first.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Having been trouble over the 12 years I've been here. That tree, full support, and maybe even here.
Big tree.
And that's kind of why I asked how old it is. Typically, the lifespan is, between
Yeah.
100 and 200 years. It could come down on
Anytime.
die at any time, and that's a pretty big tree. I've also noticed on the west side of that tree, it's right up against the sidewalk. So if it continues to grow, it's gonna cause damage to that sidewalk, which is also a liability.
Well,
Curve out into the road.
And the curve into the road on the north side.
So-
Yeah, I'm good with removing it.
I will just say the sister trees of this tree is on First East, it's on Third East, and those are dying. So the leaves are
Oh, really?
all shriveling
Where
up.
are you at?
On Third East and
Oh.
First South, there's two. Those are the Harvey trees. And
There's sycamores too.
they're sycamore. Yeah, they have names. And,
You know,
and I have raked every year, and it takes about 7 garbage cans. So I'm just saying. But they're the sister tree. I mean, they were planted at the same time. But they're mine are
Let's
dying.
plant another tree somewhere else. I mean, everything kind of has a lifespan. Trees do too. Let's build some more, let's plant some more trees. I'm all
We-
for the trees, but.
We could plant another sycamore right on that corner, but in from the sidewalk and after we see what
We finish up.
finished
Yeah.
the,
I'm totally good.
and we start a new one.
That's okay, as long as Dion understands it's gonna increase work.
Go ahead, Lynn.
I'm agreeing with the mayor. This is a safety issue.
You know, I've seen those scars on that tree, and I've never seen anybody, but I was in a situation once where I turned a corner with one of my company vehicles when I was a lot younger, and my uncles weren't very happy with me, along with my father, because, but it wasn't paint, it was aluminum that, yeah, pretty well ruined the trailer, so.
that's your scar?
No, this was up in Salt Lake.
Oh.
Okay, this one, you don't want to turn on that. I'd like to ask our fire chief what you think of this corner. How is that with the first responders on that, chief?
So it's obviously an issue because our trucks are just as big as any of the other trucks that come up and down there. So that is an issue for us too. It's a shame to make contact with that tree and damage a $1 million vehicle. That would be bad. The other side of the coin too is that tree is just inches off of the road. A person that sneezed or turned their head for just a minute, if they impacted that tree at road speeds, then it could very easily. So sadly, that's just in a bad place.
And you know, I see, you know, our county's spending millions of dollars on this road and have really widened out some areas that were really up around Dead Man's Curve. And to me, we're leaving one pinch point because of a tree and a safety hazard. So that's just kind of my, you know, I know it's, you know, it is a beautiful tree, but hey, it's kind of beat up. And there's several up by, in Wadley's yard, there's a nice, at least they planted those off the walk, and up by the Forest Service, there's a beautiful sycamore there, too.
Marty, where would the new road, like what would be your new line?
So they would, so we would extend from the south, the line, if you look at that, if you stood out there and looked up the road, right now it jogs in about 11 feet to get around these trees. So if you're looking northbound.
11 feet.
So you would gain about 11 feet of road. So
That's a whole car.
yeah, that's a whole travel lane. Now, we would probably not gain a whole travel lane here. The county may decide to go a little bit further and try to get, you know, a receiving lane, right, or left-hand turn and a through lane. They would have to get a little bit more property to do that, but that would at least give us adequate receiving lanes, bike lanes, shoulders for bikes, and things of that nature to get through that intersection, even with just the 11.
And are we delaying their project because of Strawberry Days? Would we be delaying their
I
progress?
think they would probably start it a week or so before Strawberry Days. That's what they're saying on their schedule right now. But we've told them that we probably don't want to have that whole thing tore up right there for Strawberry Days. It does impact our Third East project a little bit, but we'll work through those issues. But just because we're trying to detour traffic for Third East on the First East.
They,
So we're wanting this road done.
yeah, they've got a utility pole, a power pole for that light there comes off that, would have to be, moved back.
That would have to be relocated back as well, but it's just a single service to that house. It's not a main line.
So Councilmember Jensen, you've been awful quiet back over there. Okay,
That never happens.
So if you go to,
You do.
What volume two in Pleasant Grove history, right, there's a great kind of history of this block. If you go kind of back to the overhead shot there, back in the 30s, the LDS Church owned, right, majority of that area. And city elders at the time convinced them to sell what they at the time was called Pioneer Park, right, down there. And what we're currently sitting in right now and all that was part of that area, all three. And it talks about when they donated or bought the land, they came with the grove of trees. And then they changed the name of the park, downtown park, or to grove. Part of me
Do you think the Becks planted that tree, Lynn, you? Prior to that, before they built that, the Becks built their home there, it was there. That was just a small
Well-
2-lane road then,
I
with,
can't imagine,
with dirt dirt road.
well, because the line of the street changed when you got to Driggs. It used to be, so you know how when you get
Oh,
up to
yeah,
Driggs,
yeah.
the street literally altered. But I don't think the sycamores are indigenous. So I think it was. So when did your first few look?
Oh, I can't remember, a long time ago. No, it was after, that
It
tree
was
was,
after.
that tree was planted. We tried to cut it down, but they went for some firewood, but they wouldn't, no. So anyway, I just, anything else for Marty? Yeah, it was a great email. I am happy that the county is accommodating, because I think they see it as, well, it is their road. And it kind of messes up their road. And especially fixing the ski jump we got going on there with removing one tree, but why not take care of both problems and do a proper radius on that corner there?
Does that change anything with the roots under?
Everything would be redone at this point anyways with
With this
root
root mount.
trees come out, curb and gutters coming out, grade's probably changing a little bit there anyways.
But as the roots die, won't that make some,
They'll
settlement?
We'll pull out the roots as much as we can, so
Under anything.
it's big, but it's what you have to do under a road, so.
We may just be surprised that they may find some tree rot in the middle or something. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, mine are right, the leaves started browning up about maybe 2 years ago, so now they're just, they come out. So it's just not getting enough moisture like they used to. Well,
Okay, well, council, I would entertain a motion one way or the other.
Mayor, I'll make a motion for.
Oh,
Is it a motion then?
yes.
I will make a motion to remove the tree on Center Street East and the one down, paid for by the city, or paid for by the county, and for safety.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do I have
that
2
was
noes?
way too-
No. Okay, you're good? Okay, we unanimously, thank you. We will,
So painful.
it is painful. So, but I think it will benefit us in the long run. And
Oh.
Uh,
It's half
if-
yellow.
not this council, but a future council would be facing the same, lots of money or the same issue, and let's take care of it now. There's too many things that have been pushed down the road that we've found. Anyway, with that, we don't have anything else this evening? Or do you want to talk about our next?
Well, if I can just go over our calendar for,
yes.
we
Go
have
over
a
our
meeting
calendar.
on May 21st. I just got off the phone with the audiovisual people. They will be at our meeting on the 21st. Yeah, they were here 3 hours ago and everything worked, so. So we're gonna ask them to stay. Yes, we'll get it all fixed and then we'll make sure they're here to get that taken care of.
Delete all.
So in the month of June, our meetings are going to be on the fourth Tuesday, or on the first Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday. So June 4th and June 25th. June 4th will be our public hearing on the budget. June 25th will be the adoption of the budget, and we'll also have a budget amendment on the current year budget on that same Tuesday. June 18th, our normal third Tuesday meeting is Strawberry Day, so we will not be meeting on that day. So just, and I'll send an email out reminding you of this, but council meetings in June will be June 4th and June 25th.
And is that, when is the public hearing?
June 4th.
June 4th.
Other than that, they are anxious for us to arrive at Discovery Park. They need some more people there, so.
Okay. If not, we'll move to item number 11, and I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Oh, back up.
Great idea. We have a great firefighter that can put that tree to good use. It's great furniture and their tables. So something we can do some memory with it. Not my idea, it's firefighter Ash back there on Park Road. Thank you.
Beautiful
I just
idea.
think there's some great opportunities for us to remember that tree by.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, my God.
I will, Marty, will you make sure that the county knows that we want some
We
of the,
want the trunk.
we want the big timber? 8-foot lengths.
8-foot lengths.
So,
Wow.
okay. All right, I asked for, we have a motion. We have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you. And I sure appreciate tonight, somebody's not trying to